Hey guys, this is Jay with Twisted Christian. Today I'm going to talk about the Iraqi Dinar, and I'm going to tell you guys that every single Iraq Dinar guru has been wrong 100%. Where they talk about they have these dreams or visions or they're inside intel and this and that. They've all been wrong. Even when ISIS took over Iraq. They took over almost half of Iraq. They were still calling the RV every other weekend or every weekend on every holiday, this and that, and they were still calling it. And but I wanted to talk about the Kim Clements prophecies, okay, and how everybody's been looking at those wrong, and how it's just like Kim Clements said, it's gonna just it's gonna go from nothing to suddenly. It could happen tomorrow. It could happen next week. It could happen 2 years from now. For all those who are holding on, I just want to go over the Kim Clements prophecies and show you guys something here. And it's going to change your perspective on certain things. Okay, this is the first one, June 29th, 2011. And he says, by the way, I'm hearing something in the spirit. What is the dinar? Hasn't been time, sudden change. For those who are investing, I cannot tell you to do this or purchase them, but for those who are holding nothing, then suddenly something. And he talks about gold and other stuff. So he didn't say Iraq dinar. He didn't say Iraqi dinar. Because if you guys don't know, the dinar is held by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 countries. Alright, and then you also have what they call the cryptocurrency, e-dinar. One of the things last year, what they were trying to do, and I'll pull up an article here in just a second, is that they were trying to become compliant with Islamic law. And there was a curious case of 33 billion in trade, okay, in cryptocurrency, dealing with local trade and e-dinar. So it shows right here, and this was like an investigation. This was done. This looks like this was back last year, almost a year ago. Meanwhile, little is known about the e-dinar. The e-dinar trust note saying the e-dinar seems to be an Arabian-based blockchain trying to be compliant with Islamic financial requirements. Those requirements are going to be by whatever, however they govern their finances, or how that might include, all the dinars. Okay, so he doesn't say Iraqi dinar, but we know that the Iraqi dinar is the leader in that. And then we have another one. We heard about Firepoint, we heard about Ford, we heard about all the things people are getting impatient, the Iraqi dinar. These things happen in time. Now, so he was saying basically here, that it just hasn't been time yet. And that was, almost a year later from the last prophecy, because everybody's flipping out. Everybody's calling the banks, literally there are stories of people going to the banks and demanding that they exchange Iraqi dinar for a 1-to-1 rate, or a 3-to-1 rate. And that was absolutely ridiculous. People calling the banks and everything. Just desperation. And real traders and real investors don't act like that. And that goes for the cryptocurrency market too. Some of you guys ride the train and then you guys end up getting burned instead of doing your investigation and investing wisely. Okay, December 31st, 2013. It says, though you are surrounded by fear, doom, and gloom, I have set apart certain truths for my people to prosper. And I say to you, now it has begun. They have spoken of the dinar. They have spoken of amazing discoveries, the big E, synchrotron. I have spoken these things that they will be manifest, but yet there has been a cover upon these things. I will say to you, I will release them one at a time, because this is the beginning of acceleration. Okay, so he's going to release it one at a time. He didn't say Iraq dinar. He didn't really make that specific. And then a year later, okay, now he spoke in 2011 of the dinar. And people at this time are really freaking out, because you know what? This is the year that ISIS came in and took over half of Iraq. And it says, today I just want to share a few minutes on the dinar while you are giving, because some of you have invested and the Spirit spoke to me and said, that's great. And later on in Code Breakers, we're going to reveal more. There is great deception. Many have been lied to. Many out there calling themselves brokers, but taking advantage of your innocence and many lives. Hold on to everything, because there's a sign. And one thing I did see, and I may want to share when we do code breakers. Rather remind me, please. There's something I have to share about what I saw aside from the NASDAQ. So he's saying that during this time period, there's a lot of people, a lot of these dinar gurus running these websites, and you're clicking on their ads, and they're the ones who are making money. All these so-called, all these gurus that are out there, and you guys know all of them who I'm talking about. Now, regarding the dinar, everybody sitting, watching now, all you want to hear is, when is it going to happen? See, let me tell you something. That's how everybody is. When is it going to happen? When is it going to happen? Those people who are do that will be broke within a year. When is the revaluation going to take place? What revaluation? First of all, hear what God is saying, what God said a while ago, and connect the dots, because this is what happens at the den. We find out what God is saying, and we could connect the dots and be at the right place at the right time, at the right season, for the right reason. This is the dinar, okay? He's holding up the Iraqi dinar, okay? It's a color I prophesied about many years ago that some of you should go and delve into, because there's so many little things out there. A lot of people want to make a lot of money quickly, and sometimes it happens, and sometimes it doesn't, and most times it doesn't. Let me go ahead and continue down. Everybody watching that's interested in the issue of the dinar, listen to me. Okay, he's talking about his prophecy he did a while ago. He said, in other words, there is a perfect time for God to do anything. So obviously, still again, it hasn't been time. The prophecy he gave out here says here, I really recently spoke about the dinar at 20,000. All this connects to a massive breakthrough with the dinar. I know nothing of the dinar really that is Iraqi, and I do have this sense in the morning when the money was in my hands, which we kept in a safe, but I took the money and I didn't have a good feeling. I didn't have a good feeling about it. When I say that, there's a lot of corruption and lies. There's a lot of brokers trying to milk you, and he felt like he had to pray. Okay. Now we know that that part of the prophecy was the Dow at 20,000. Well, let me tell you something. When the Dow hit 20,000, okay, there's a lot of things that are going on in the background. They cannot tell you that they are actually going to revalue officially. That's just like saying if that would break the rules of investing. It's almost like it's a IFO. It's a initial fiat offering. Okay, we're investing into Iraq. They're rebuilding, and when they get their economy, then they'll raise the value of the dinar, and we get the cash in, just like any other stock. Okay, and you guys have to look at it partly that way too as well. I'm going to show you guys something. A promise has come to me very clearly over the Middle East, and specifically over Iraq and those regions. Something has opened up. He's talking about those regions. Okay? He's not just talking about Iraq, but also those regions. Now somebody says, what does that mean? It means there are people not praying in America necessarily, but in Iran and Iraq and those regions. God has heard the prayers of the Christians in that territory where the blood is being shed. That there will be provision for the world because of what opened up over the Middle East. Now, I know that sounds crazy, but because there's so much wickedness going on with the leaders there, that doesn't matter. So God spoke about the fact there would be blessings that would come as a result of their prayers being answered. There will be a surrender. There will be a financial issue concerning the dinar that I clearly heard of this opening up as well. And then let's go down here. Now, this is where he's prophesying. It says here, the Spirit of the Lord is now speaking over the region of Iraq, Iran, over the regions of the Middle East, and Southern Asia. The earth has shaken and shaken again. I am speaking that I may release the resources. I want to free you, every one of you, my people, to be able to stretch out their hands to the lonely, to the hungry, to the poor, and feed them and clothe them. That is my desire, says the Lord. Therefore shall be a break in the financial system in the Middle East, the dinar. And they shall say, why now? That when things seem at their worst, I shall bring it forth, and I shall free them up. There shall be a prosperity in a place where you least expect it. So what he's talking about there, he first is talking about over to the region of Iraq and Iran, in the Middle East and Southern Asia. Okay, and there shall be a break in the financial system, which is going to start off with the dinar. First of all, look at Iran. There's 3 countries that use the Iran rial. You got Iran, Yemen, and Oman. They all have the rial. So I don't know if they're going to change their currency. Maybe they'll flip over to the dinar. I don't know. It's very possible. And if that happens, that can really make the strength of the dinar currency. Iran right now is having a lot of problems, but if you look and see here, Oman doesn't have, they have a pretty good rate. Yemen and Iran are the ones that aren't doing so great. Then he said he spoke over Southeast Asia, Southern Asia. Well, let's take a look at Southern Asia, and let's take a look at the countries, and let's take a look at their currencies. That's from Wikipedia. So now we're looking at all the countries that what Kim Clement had prophesied. Okay, Sri Lanka, Pakistan, Nepal, Maldives, I'm not sure how to say that, India, Bhutan, Bangladesh, and Afghanistan. So most of these go by the root. Most of these countries, you got 1, 2, 3, 4 that have the rupee. Okay, so he's speaking to all those specific regions. The Iran region, the rial, the dinar, with all those countries here. If you look at the dinar, same thing here. Algeria, Iraq, Jordan, Kuwait, Libya, Serbia, Tanzania, and Macedonia. And Tanzania dinar, they've already went over to cryptocurrency. They've already started their cryptocurrency. They changed over to their blockchain system. So he's speaking to those areas, and because of the dinar, all right, it's going to affect everybody. And we don't know if it's going to go to like some kind of dinar system, okay, with the cryptocurrencies now and everything, and the blockchain. All the countries could get together. All the dinari countries could get together. Some countries, other Middle Eastern countries, can change their currency. We don't know how it's going to take place, especially with Iran and what Kim Clement was saying over that. And then you look at India. Now, if I lived in any of these countries, okay, Algeria, Iraq, all these countries, Iran, I would hold on to cash. I would hold on to it as much as I can, because we don't know how they're going to revalue their currency. And I'm going to show you guys something here really quick. And I'm going to pull this article, what Trump said. Trump on currencies. We will all soon be at a level playing field. Now, let me tell you something. Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies broke all the rules when it came to currency. We know about penny stocks and they go up, but almost every single cryptocurrency has basically been a penny stock. There's absolutely no value to it, if at all whatsoever. Trump said that we would be on an even level playing field. It says President Donald Trump said on Friday, February 10, 2016, predicted a level playing field on currencies and trade, renewing his promise to take measures to allow America to compete more fairly on the global market. And we know that the IMF and there's all these things going on with government, because eventually you can't trade with one of the largest economies in the world if you're going to keep playing unfair. And all the other presidents, whether it's Obama, Clinton, Bush, none of them cared. Republicans or Democrats didn't care. All of our jobs went overseas, okay, coming here from the United States, and selling back our own products that we should be buying. Every country should be self-sustaining. So like I said here, so that means as we look at some of these currencies, okay, well, if he's talking about all currencies going to be on a level playing field, well, if you're going to base your GDP and you got all this these trillions of dollars coming in, well, you know what, your currency should be worth more based off of your resources. Okay, we know there's a lot of war in the Middle East and everything, but I think there's going to be some peace that comes. You're always going to have your terrorists. You're always going to have that. All right, just like, we have our problems over here. Their problems are just different. We're looking at not just the dinar. We're looking at over the regions of Iran, the Middle East, and Southern Asia. Now, when it comes to investing, well, right now, if you did go and buy, the Iran rial, it's very cheap right now. People talk about the Vietnamese dong, and I don't know if that's going to, obviously their economy is strong, but if it's going to be on an evil level, if all currencies are going to be on an evil playing field, then I expect all the currencies to go up. That means it's going to bring wealth for all the citizens. of whichever countries that have been, most of these countries are poor, and one of the reasons why is because, the European economic engine that kicked off a long time ago, and there was a lot of colonialism, with Africa and the Middle East, Southern Asia, and they were affected a lot, and because of the European rule and all the things that were going on during those time periods, the Africa and the Middle East were never really able to get their economies going. They were always overshadowed by these European countries and factories pumping out all these things. Okay. But here, like I said, it's over those areas. Okay, but it's going to kick off with the dinar. Now, when it comes to investing, if you live in any of these countries, if you live in Algeria, I would hold on to your cash. If you live in Iraq, I would hold on to your cash. Now, if you live in Jordan, well, the value, here you can see these here are already above $1. That's why they're all in green. They're above $1. So don't be surprised if they try to get more in line with Kuwait. Kuwait's just a small country, and look at the value of their currency. Then you have Libya. Libya should be a lot stronger, but the previous United States government, destabilized Libya. Macedonia, and then you have Serbia and Tanzania, 41 cents. So if all these are going to come up into, if it's not just about just the physical dinar, it's going to affect all these countries. So if you live in these countries already, I would definitely, hold on to your cash, because if there's a revaluation, if all these other currencies go up, even in Jordan, guys go up from $1.41 to the $3 mark, because they want to put all the dinars together, or however they're going to bring this financial system to come. And that's the big thing. Nobody is giving you any kind of news on how the Middle East is trying to shape its economy overall, and Southern Asia. So the prophecies, in my opinion, and that's why we're missing it, and everybody's expecting Iraq to flip the button, because everybody is expecting Iraq's economy and everything else to be in order. But you know what? Everybody else has to be more in line. So we're missing it. We're definitely missing what's going on. It could be another couple years. And I actually think this was, if ISIS had not attacked Iraq, this would have happened probably maybe a year ago. But they've been put behind and everything. So I just wanted, and that's why, like I said, that's why all the gurus have been wrong. For like 3 years, when I first got into this in 2011, I used to listen to those guys, looking at the website every day and checking it and this and that. And they were always wrong. And if I would have known it was going to take this long, I would have better invested my money, because I was buying off of emotion, and I was putting myself in debt by doing it because I thought it was going to make a quick turnaround. But I was wrong. And all those gurus out there led a lot of people astray. And they can call themselves Christians or religious or whatever. And that's what happened. What I was telling you guys earlier is that Bitcoin in the cryptocurrency market broke all the rules of investing. Yes, we know there are penny stocks, and things can go up, and people can come out with new technologies and their stocks can go up. But to go from basically less than a penny to worth $19,000 kind of really struck a heart at the currency markets. And now that since Bitcoin has broken all the rules, it will allow the central banking system to put faith back into fiat currency, whether it's digital or physical. I think in the future, anyways, I think it's always going to be side by side. You're always going to need cash, at least for the next 10 to 20 years, to keep faith in the system. If I can't go to the bank and pull out $1,000 because I need to go, purchase something from my next door neighbor, I need to be able to do that. Okay, but they broke all the rules. So what's to stop fiat currencies from doing the same thing? And it's backed by something. They're backed by gold. They're backed by oil. They're backed by resources. They're backed by all tourism and archaeology and all. There's all kind of things that a country is based off as far as their economy and what their currency is worth. And so since they broke all the rules, from here to go from 0.0084, some of you guys know when you guys look at numbers like that, you're in the cryptocurrency markets. But saw a cryptocurrency that was worth that much, that's expected to go up, you would hoard those things, and you guys have, for those who are in cryptocurrencies. So we show here a rate of 1.2 or 80 cents on the dollar. Some people say it's $1.20 on the dollar, and this is the CBI host site. This is not the actual site. This is their host site. So they've told us that it's coming, but not really said that it's coming. And I want to show you guys a little bit of this past video where it's the IQD is kind of going up and down. Okay, guys, this is from my video, and just going to show you these things from starting from March 6th, and just to give you an idea of what's going on with what's going on with some of these websites. This happened last month, okay, and it just seems like it's just been going up and down, giving strange numbers. As you can see, it's up 1,000%, it's down 1,000%, and you'll see that here in a second. Up 10,000% almost. Down 99%. So you can see all the discrepancies with what's going on some of these sites, and I believe that they're testing. They're getting ready to do something. So there you go. You see all the big red, big green. Showing 118 dinars per dollar. Okay, so you guys get the point. So there are things that are going on behind the scenes, and things are going to change. But see, nobody's investigating all the other dinars. Nobody's investigating really the other financial markets. It all has to come together, at least to the best of their ability. It's not going to be perfect, and some of those you already know that this whole Iraqi Dinar thing is going to be short-lived, because first of all, it's been shown that when people come into money, more than 50% will be broke within the first 5 years. Then the stats there, they just, more and more people as time goes on, they lose their millions of dollars. Okay. Second of all, we already know, according to biblical prophecy, what's supposed to happen. So Iraq is going to be in the middle stage, or he's going to be right in the middle of it when things do happen. I don't know when things are going to happen, but you know what? It could be another 20 years. Because people for the longest time, even the apostles and the disciples, thought Jesus was coming back in their time. And the system that will be imposed according to the book of Revelation is not even close to even being set up. I mean, it's not even close to even being completed. It's not even close. So, guys, we have still a long ways. That's why there are signs. But I'm just going to say this. If you guys are living in those countries, like I said, hold on to your cash. We don't know if this is going to happen tomorrow or 2 years from now. But you know what you do? You keep working. You keep investing. You don't pour all your savings into it. But just keep doing what you're doing, and just buy as you can. There's a lot of people trying to sell back their dinars because they didn't bought too much. Instead of buying a little bit at a time, or getting with other people, and that's what I do with my friends. We make one purchase, we put all our money together, so we're only paying one shipping fee and one ID fee and so forth. Those of you who are not familiar with Kim Clements, there's a lot of videos about Kim Clements, so you guys can go and check those out. So we know that the gurus have been wrong, and you have to look at the big picture. It's not just Iraq, it's that region, it's Iran and that region, and it's also Southern Asia. Okay, and some other things have to happen. Now, if you know Kim Clements, he's made a lot of prophecies, and some of his prophecies can be anywhere from like 5 to 10 years before they come to pass. But he's got them all on record, all on video and everything else. So you guys just need to keep the faith and start looking at other things. And I want to show you guys something. One last thing. February 23rd, 2017. Kim Clements had already passed, Sunil was talking about the prophecies concerning the dinar. So I'm just going to go straight down to it. It's the mystery. It's the mystery of the dinar. The Dow 20,000 points. All this connects to massive breakthrough with regard to the dinar. What is the dinar Kim refers to in code? Many people assume that it was the Iraqi dinar, which has been touted for several years. Is that what Kim is referring to? The actual paper currency in Iraq? Or is there something more? And he goes on to say, after reading the prophecy, you may be asking, where do we go from here? Is the dinar referred to in simply the current Iraq dinar paper currency, or is it something else? All right, so he just goes on, about, how the country has to be stable and all this and all that, And like you said, everything, we already know that Kim's Clement prophecies take a long, they take a long time to come to pass, but they do. So what I'm saying to you guys is you need to start looking at other things. That's why I started, on the e-dinar. And this is the only place that I know of, besides getting a cryptocurrency wallet, where I'm actually, increasing. And if I would have known about the e-dinar a year ago and taken 1,000 of my, my Iraqi dinar, $1,000 American dollars worth, and put it in the e-dinar, and I was doing this a year ago, I'd be really ahead right now. And so I'm actually earning right now off of e-dinar. So anyway, guys, so I just want you guys to see that there's more to it. The gurus will be wrong, and they've always been wrong. And stop wasting your time and your energy in all the chat rooms and getting the daily information, because you know what? It's bigger than that. It's bigger than that. All the system is going to be, that whole region is going to be a little bit more connected financially and economically. So you have to look at the big picture. And so I just want you guys to see that, and I hope you guys enjoyed this entertaining video, okay? Because I'm not a financial guru. I'm just a regular guy who does his own research and just tries to put the information out there, okay? So I'm not in any way telling you what to invest in. You can do all the research yourself. If you have questions, you can ask a question on the comment section, and don't forget to click on subscribe. And subscribe to our channel. Okay, we got some videos here about cryptos and how you can use your free faucets for those in cryptos and turn it into e-dinar and then make even more money. Okay, all right. So thank you guys, and have a great weekend.